Hey, fellow mathers. Before we get into this episode, we want to share with you how you can get access to free content, professional learning that will keep your students engaged and doing the math that matters. Get ready to go to this link, mathisfigureoutable.com/challenge.
That's right. Registration is open for the free Math is Figureoutable Challenge that's starting May 15th and runs to the 17th at 7 p.m. Central. We're going to have 3 nights jam packed with learning and routines that you can take straight to your classroom.
In these challenges, we have a great time. We do some math, talk about classroom experiences, give away super cool bonuses and prizes. You won't just walk away with routines that are naturally engaging and encourage your students to think mathematically. You'll also have a chance to win over 6K worth in prizes, including a few virtual PD sessions for your school. I'll be joined by my wonderful co-host Kim and special guest Jenna Labe.
You can register at mathisfigureoutable.com/challenge for a fantastic learning experience. That's mathisfigureoutable.com/challenge. Now on to the show.
Hey, fellow mathematicians, welcome to the podcast where math is figure-outable. I'm Pam.
And I'm Kim.
And you found a place where math is not about memorizing and mimicking, waiting to be told or shown what to do. But y'all, it's about making sense of problems, noticing patterns, and reasoning using mathematical relationships. We can mentor students to think and reason like mathematicians. Not only are algorithms not particularly helpful in teaching mathematics, but rotely repeating steps actually keep students from being the mathematicians they can be.
So some of our listeners will probably remember that we did an episode a while back where we talked about being helpful as teachers and the nature of how we help students. And we centered that episode around a phrase that you and I love to use.
Yeah, which is, do you need time or do you need help?
Yep.
Do you need time or help? Yeah, and that was episode 113. So if y'all haven't heard that one yet, you are going to want to check out 113 when you're done here. Do you need time or help?
Yeah, it's really been a game changer for both of us because what we're communicating with that is that there are two different needs, and we help students identify which kind of help they're looking for. And that's great because sometimes the solution is that we just need to zip it a little bit. We need our students to just have the time and space to think and reason without the pressure of us jumping in all the time. So we need to be reminded to get out of their mathematical way.
Yeah, because it's not about speed, right? We've had lots of conversations about being good at mathematics is not equated to being fast at recalling a fact or spitting out an answer or solving something. That we want to encourage deep thinking, and we want to encourage lots of connections and relationships. It's not about speed. We want to de-emphasize it. It's okay if kids are fast.
Sure.
We don't want to like you must be slower, but we don't want to say to kids, oh, if you're thinking deeply about that, if that takes you okay, that what we want you to do here is think. We don't want you to sacrifice thinking for rote retrieval quickly. That's not mathematizing. It's not what mathematicians do. So yeah. Kim, so I'm a little concerned that how do I say this? That some people might hear that asking kids, do you need time or do you need help? As, oh, okay. So what we just do is we need to help kids. They really just need encouragement. The reason I'm saying that is that I'm not saying it very well, but I remember an instance where we work with groups of teachers all the time, right? But one time we were working with a particular teacher, and we hadn't worked with this teacher very much, but we had an opportunity to go and observe. And we went in and observed, and the teacher was doing the task that we talked about, we prepared for and everything. And as the students were working on a particular question, the teacher walked around and would look at the students' work and would say, nope, keep going. And then would walk on, and then would look at another student and go, oh, no, that's not right. But you can do it. You can do it. And then would walk to another student, and the student would go like this. And the teacher would go, no, but I believe in you. And then would walk on. And it took me a minute to go, wait. Like, now I'm just going to be a little upfront. This teacher was a coach. Now, I was a coach, so I'm not dogging coaches. In fact, I love coaches. I think coaches are awesome, and I've had a great time. I know sometimes the coaches get a bad rap because they really like to coach and they get thrown into a classroom they don't actually want to teach and whatever. But this particular person was kind of being not, I almost wanted to say, dude, if you were on the court with your kids, would you just say, no, you're doing that layup wrong, but try again? Or would you actually help them? Would you give them some help?
Mm-hmm.
Like in other words, help isn't just raw. I believe in you. You can do it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's some ways that we can help without. Yeah, there's ways that we can help that isn't just I'm trying to think of a word. That's not just like sort of bland encouragement. Bland, that's not the
Yeah.
right word. I mean, it's not just about being excited and saying I believe in you. Like we can provide help. We can provide
Right.
just that right level of help.
Right. I totally agree. And the first part for me is helping students to make sense of, do they need time or do they need some help in some way? Because, like I
Ah,
said, sometimes they just need some time, and for them to be able to communicate that back is so useful. But sometimes we get students who actually need some different support. Not too long ago, my own son came home from school and he was telling me about an assignment that he had to work on, and he said, he got towards the end of the class and he was running out of time and he needed to finish something up. And I said, "Oh, did you ask for extra time? And did you communicate that to the teacher?" And he looked at me and he said, "Mom, time would not have helped." And I said, "Well, tell me more about that." And he
oh,
said,
bless his heart.
"What I needed in that moment was not additional time. Like I had gotten to the point where time wouldn't have helped and I needed some help." And what I love about that was that he was clear that he could have asked for time, but that it wouldn't have done him any good. And so he needed a different support. And at
Mm.
that point, when kids say to us, "I need some help," that's when it's our job to kind of dive in a little bit. And that's the important part where maintaining this balance is. And so what we're going to talk a little bit today is about how much help is too much help and what's kind of the right balance of helping students.
Yeah, for sure. Because we've worked with a lot of teachers from all over, and we've pretty often seen that once they recognize their students need help, then they do what good teachers do.
Right.
They rush in. They're like, "Oh, like I am willing to help you." Like this teacher I
Hmm.
was just mentioning. I mean, good intentions, right? Like what that teacher had heard us say was, don't like what you just said. What's too much help? And so it interpreted it as, oh, don't help at all. Just rah and give encouragement. And it's a great thing to say, I want to be helpful, but if we're going to create reasoners and thinkers and problem solvers like we're suggesting, the kind of help and how much help we're providing in those crucial moments really matters.
Yeah. Oh, I can identify with that as an elementary teacher. Good hearts, want to support. And I've seen a lot of teachers who will like pull up a chair next to a student and at some points even take the pencil out of their student's hand and then proceed to do all the thinking for them. Or they just start talking and they just like dump all the things. So the big question really is, how do you know when your help is too much help?
Yeah, that's a really good point. In fact, I remember an instance when we were working with some students, and I knelt. It's funny because when you said like take a seat next to the student, I kind of knelt down next to the student, and I
Hmm.
did take the pencil out of the kid's hand, and I
Hmm.
remember it was kind of a person that was observing me working with students was like, "Oh, you can't do that," kind of like you just did. Like, don't do the work for the student. But in that moment, what I was going to do was represent that student's thinking. I
Sure.
wasn't going to
Yep.
take over the student's thinking, but I didn't have a pen on my, that was my bad that I didn't have my own. Notice how I just said pen and not pencil.
I know
I
you
didn't,
did. I heard that.
I didn't have a writing implement with me. And so I did borrow the student's pencil, but
Sure.
not to take over the thinking, to
Right.
represent the student's
Right.
thinking. So a couple of things that we can talk about here. One specifically is, as we say, oh, the student needs, so first of all, we've identified, do you need time or help? Oh, you need help. Okay, I'm going to provide help. Sometimes we see teachers dive in and funnel the student. So they use a funneling pattern of questions where that's not all that helpful, actually, because if I just ask a series of questions that gets the student to the answer, I might be like, okay, get the answer. Bam, moving on. But unless the student like has memorized that funnel or owns that funnel, when I leave, when I take away the funnel, then the student's left with an answer, maybe even the process to get that answer. But if they don't own it, then what we haven't done is created an independent problem solver. We've just created someone who might be able to mimic that funnel. So we don't recommend funneling questions. Patterning of questions. We recommend a focusing pattern of questions, the kinds of things that you can help students focus on. A second thing that we would invite you to consider is, what is the effect of your help as you are thinking about, okay, so here's a student, they've said, nope, I don't need more time, I need help. As you are thinking about how you're going to help that student, will you be creating that student as a mathematician, or could it potentially create learned helplessness?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've gotten questions about that too, right? Where people will say to us, "Man, I feel like my students have this learned helplessness," and maybe it came from years before, or maybe it's kind of occurring in your classroom. But I feel like that's a real hallmark of you're rushing in, right? You're rushing in if then they sit passively and wait for you to kind of do the work and like swoop in. And really the important part of that is that we need to consider the message that we're sending to students when we always rush in. And it's the opposite of what we want, which is you are capable. You can do math. You have it in you. I believe in you. But we have to give them that opportunity. And what I'm thinking about right now is that doesn't just hold true for our students either, right? When
Uh-huh.
as we're adults and we're working through something, we should probably adopt asking each other the same question. Do you need time? Do you need help? And what I love so much about the work that we get to do right now is that we get to provide the help. When people say, I do want some help, I need some help, we get to provide that help.
Yeah. And if you're looking for help, we believe that we have that kind of help that you need.
Yeah.
We've created a system to help teachers do what we kind of had to do on our own. I
Hmm.
mean, in a huge way, I did so much where I just dove in and I was trying to figure out, I was trying to find the right research, and I was asking questions. And every workshop that I did, I was doing a lot of professional learning with graphing calculators and trying to do technology. And as I was doing that, I would kind of on the side ask, hey, did you know you can actually think about subtraction? Yeah. Like, try to figure that all on my own, and diving into classrooms and doing it's funny, I call them model lessons, but really in a huge way, I was just experimenting. Well, we have taken all of that experience, and then started working with you, and then through the years, we've done all this work, and we've taken that experience, and we have created online workshops and our online implementation support system that we call Journey, to help teachers on their journey,
Hmm.
because we want to help teachers grow. We want to help them wrestle with ideas with
Yeah.
just enough support. If
Hmm.
you've ever seen me put my fingers in the air, we have a whole episode about the finger. What do I call it? The finger thing. Teachers used to go, Pam, do the finger thing, which is where I
Hmm.
talk about if your students are all over the map. Okay, I don't even have to say if, right? Your students are all over the map. They are. That's the nature of people. We think differently. We have different experience levels. So because your students all over the map, we have to do tasks if we really want them to learn and develop them as mathematicians. We have to do tasks that meet them where they are and help everybody learn and grow from where they are. Well, we believe the same thing is true about teachers. And
Hmm.
so we create the online workshops that we do and the journey support system that we have, that for that same output. We create them the way we do so that no matter where you are on the teacher landscape of learning, you can enter, have access, learn and grow from there, and then look to your next step. Where can you continue to learn and grow? In fact, I'm just thinking about, we did an event in our journey group the other night, what we call Live Math with Pam. I don't know, we might need to come up with another name for that, but I think it's kind of fun,
It
Live Math with
works.
Pam. And literally, we dove in and we did some math together, and we talked about what it would look like to represent student thinking, and we had teachers comparing the way they represented, what their models looked like, and why it looked a certain way one time and a different way a different time, and it was so much fun. But the reason I bring it up is, it was fascinating to me that we had brand new Journey members on that
Hmm.
had just joined, and we had veteran Journey members who, let's be clear, they are so well trained, educated, like they know their stuff. And at the very end of it, we ask for feedback, and we got feedback that ranged the gamut from the brand new
Mhm.
person that was like, this was so helpful, this is what I learned, to that expert who's like, this was so helpful, this is what I learned.
Yeah.
So it's that idea of having this support that's just right, that's
Right.
just on the
Right.
edge of people's
Right.
zone of proximal development.
Mhm.
That's the way that we have set up our online professional learning. So like when our journey members ask questions in our monthly question and answer sessions, sometimes we hear a question that goes something like this: how do I help other teachers? Like I'm kind of a lone wolf here in my school. How do I help my colleagues, my administrators, the parents I'm working with? How do I help them believe that math is figure outable? How do I help all these other people it would be so much help, like all my support, if I could build a support system around me, how do I help others believe that math is forgettable? And our answer is that just like students need experience about real
Yeah.
math, teachers need to experience real math, what it means to mathematize, so that they can learn all the things, and that can take some time.
Absolutely.
And we
Yeah.
do that here.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you said that because it's really tempting to say like I've like something has awakened in me or something has pinged for me, and so why hasn't it for everyone else around me? And so um we have an amazing community too. I think it's my favorite part of all the things that we do is we get to interact with people who are on a journey together, really to be the best teacher that each of them can be. And they're so supportive of each other. And it's funny because even in our Facebook group, you'll find them kind of nudging each other and asking questions and
Hmm.
supporting in all the ways that we would recommend that they do with their students, and that they do it with each other as well. So it's pretty amazing.
It's the best place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So registration is currently open for both Journey and for Pam's workshops. And we only do that 3 times a year. Registration's only open 3 times a year, and this is one of them. You can check that out at mathisfigureoutable.com.
And we will put links in the show notes so that you can quickly get to what we offer. Let me tell you, we have some message boards in the workshops where people interact back and forth. And
Mhm.
I'd like to tell you about a few of them that I've just read this semester from people who just took a workshop from us. Tina White, who I'm loving interacting with, wrote, "Thanks for the great PD! Exclamation point. I have been teaching for 22 years. And as many of us math teachers know, it is difficult, if not impossible, to find a good math PD, especially for the upper grades. This one tops my list." Oh,
Oh, so
thank
great.
you so much for that. Honored and super glad that you found that really helpful. We had a teacher who's taken a couple of our workshops. Katrianne Vance wrote, "Whenever I do PD, I like to come out with 3 lists: discrete things I want to do right now, big
Mhm.
ideas I want to incorporate over time, and cultural shifts. This workshop offers all 3. Bam! Oh,
That's
the
so
bam was
great.
me. Sorry,
Yeah.
that wasn't her. And she continues to say, "The problem strings are the things I could do tomorrow. The rich tasks and the in the workshop, and the whole way that it's designed provides a structure for teaching linear functions." So she took our linear functions workshop. "And the whole approach is a cultural change." So that was cool. Thank you, Ketran. I appreciate that. And John Gasca, oh, I hope I'm slaughtering your name. Gaspari? John,
Mhm.
you're awesome. Wrote, "I have thoroughly enjoyed this workshop." Vicky said, "This has been an amazing workshop, amazing stuff. Thank you so much for all the extremely rich material. So totally worth every penny." And we really appreciate everybody who's taken our workshops, and hope that if that is what you're looking for, if you're looking for, "Hey, Pam, I just need more time." All right, keep listening to the podcast.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for help, you might check out, we invite you to check out our online workshops, which are open for registration right now. If you are a teacher of young students, we offer Building Edition for young learners. If you are a teacher that teaches multiplication, we offer Building Powerful Multiplication. Now, notice I didn't just say, like, if you're a third grade teacher, fourth grade teacher, because really, third grade and up teach multiplication. So, Building Powerful Multiplication or Building Powerful Division is also appropriate for anyone who teaches multiplication and division. Building Powerful Proportional Reasoning is appropriate for grades 5 and up. Building Powerful Linear Functions is our first. We just launched it. It was a maiden voyage this last semester. It went so well. We had so many amazing experiences in that one. That is for anybody who teaches probably grade 8 and up, or even grade 7 if you kind of want to see where what you teach is going. And for those of you who want extra support in things like writing problem strings, check out Journey Plus, where you get our signature support system, Journey, plus a workshop of your choice, and you get access to all of that for an entire year. It's quite the deal. Mm-hmm. Check out matheisforgettable.com for more information. Hey, y'all, thanks for tuning in and teaching more and more real math. To find out more about the Math is Forgettable movement, visit matheisforgettable.com. Let's keep spreading the word that math is figure-outable. Thank you for listening and making math more figure-outable.
To learn even more, make sure you register for our free challenge at matheisfigureoutable.com/challenge. You are not going to want to miss the evenings of May 15th through 17th, starting at 7 p.m. Central.
Math teaching, go register now. That's matheisforgettable.com/challenge. Join us to make math more and more figure-outable. And if you can't join live, register and we'll send you access to the recordings. We'll see you there.